करिष्यामः। Right. शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये दोर्भियुक्ता चतुर्भ्यस्फटिकमणिमयीम् अक्षमालां दधान हस्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमपि च शुकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिदिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना पूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलं वाल्मीके मुनिसिंहस्य काव्यगानम् रामायण महामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् वैदेही सहितं समुद्रे संस्थितम् अग्रे वाचेति प्रपञ्चनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं नमोऽस्तु रामाय लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः हरिः ओम्। प्रथमतः
नमस्कारं
क्षम्यतां विलम्बेन प्रारम्भं कृतवन्तः. So sorry about that. I am a little stuck. So we'll probably have a truncated 1 hour class today. And also, given that I'm traveling, I will not have the class next week also. Okay. So these are a couple of things. Just a minute. I think if a few people are waiting in this one, is it? Let me see. 1 minute. Give me a minute. I think we can just tell them that. Yeah.
में कह रही थी मैं इसमें कैसे बोलूंगी?
Yeah, we can start. So what we were doing last week was something we were discussing what happened to Hanuman. Hanuman reached Lanka and he met Sita Mata, and there was a conversation. He gave her the Angulika, and he also took the Chudamani from her.
There's a lag.
We also discussed there was this one.
Mahodaya, it's a dragging. Voice is dragging. There's a lag.
1 minute. 1 minute. Hold on. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll do it with this now. I think we should be able to manage with this. 1 minute. Okay. So we saw what happened when Hanuman met Sita Mata, and he deliberately got himself caught, right? And then he got himself caught because there was a Brahmastra put around him, and then he said, it's okay. He anyway was well versed in Brahmastra. It was not a problem for him. So he got caught. The reason was he wanted to have a look at what Ravana's army and what Ravana's will looks like. how do we manage Ravana's this one? That was the question in his mind. So he wanted to examine, he wanted to get a real-time assessment of what happened, what to do, how to go about doing things. So these are some slokas from the Sundarakanda where he gets caught and is sort of presented in front of Ravana. When he's presented in front of Ravana, this is his thoughts in his mind. This is the thoughts in his mind. This is about Ravana. So this is what he is wondering about Ravana. Aho Rupam, Aho Dhairyam, Aho Sattvam, Aho Dyuti. Here Sattvam does not mean the Sat. Aho Sattvam means Ojasya, the kind of radiance he has. Aho Dyutihi, the kind of electrifying, we say no, electrifying effect. Aho Rakshasa Rajasya, Sarva Lakshana Yuktata. He is with all the Lakshanas. There is nothing that he is devoid of. He is probably the perfect person to be sitting on a throne for whatever reasons. Okay. Yadi, and see, this is what he says in this shloka, and another two shlokas he says something. This is the same. This 7 and 8 exactly. Up to this point, he's praising Ravana and putting him on a pedestal. In fact, putting him on top of a cliff. Just see what he does here. Yadi adharmo na balavan syat ayam rakshaseshwaraha. Yadi adharmaha na balavan syat. Had he not been in the this one of adharma, had he not been going about doing so many wrong things, syat ayam suralokasya sashakrasyapi rakshita. He could have been the king of the Indras. He could have been even overruled Indra and everybody and become one of the most powerful and very, very respected persons anywhere in all the lokas. It's not just the Bhuloka. Even the Suvarloka, Maharloka and all those lokas, he would have conquered and been whatever he could have been. This is what he is saying. Asya krurair nishamsaihi cha karmabhihi loka kutsitaihi sarve bibyati khalu asmad lokaha samaradhanavaha. See, a leader should inspire. And there's a difference between inspiring and instilling fear. The moment you instill fear in people, then you're not a leader. I'm talking of the right people, not those in the frame of adharma. And then if you don't have fear, if they don't fear you, then you are in the wrong. But people who are doing the right things, you should be inspirational for them. You should not be fearful for them. So that is what he's saying here. Asya kruraihi, he's so krura, drishamsaihi, and he hates people and everyone. In fact, there is a whole sarga on what all Hanuman sees. There are people reciting the Vedas. There are so many yajna karyas happening around Lanka. There are so many things happening around. But with what mindset is it happening? They're all praying that Ravana should go at some point. He's become too much for us. So all the yajna karya, everything happening around, they're all with that mindset. So this is what happens if you are krura. Asya kruraihi drishamsaihi karmabhihi loka kutsitaihi sarve bibyati. Everybody is afraid. Sarve bibyati khalu. Asmad lokaha, in our loka, from our loka, samaradhanavaha, including the Danavas, everyone is afraid of him. So where is this one for him? So if you are fearful, if you are inspiring fear, then you are not a good leader. You need to inspire. You should be inspirational. Of course, wrong things have to be punished. Wrong things have to be done and taken care of. But those who are doing right should not be afraid of you. They should be willing to come to you and talk to you. Ayam hi utsahate kruddha kartume karnavam jagat iti chinta bahuvida akarot matiman harihi. This is what he was thinking. Matiman harihi chinta bahuvidam chintam akarot. Ayam hi utsahate kruddha. I think he seems to be very angry. He seems to be very arrogant, angry. Who will respect such a person? Drishtva Rakshasa Rajasya Prabhavam Amita Tojasaha. Amita Ojasaha. Seeing that, this is what Hanuman is thinking. He is such a great person. He is great, with so much of valor, so much of this one. So this is where the problem comes. You know, we have a concept called goodness. We have a concept called greatness. Most often, all of us confuse, especially in this current day world, we confuse goodness with greatness. Now, goodness is a necessary condition for you to live. Greatness is an add-on quality. That may come, that may not come. There is no necessity that all of us need to die great, but all of us necessarily need to die good. Do we all agree? That is what all our philosophy says. The necessity condition for the life is being good. The greatness is an add-on thing which you get very good, great, fantastic. Now, what happens in today's world, in the world that we are living in especially, we confuse between the two and we think greatness is goodness. Having high position, having a lot of wealth, yes, they're all very necessary. They're all needs. There are a lot of needs. But how do you get it becomes a challenge. Right? So the greater cause is not served if it is blindly running behind something that is just for greatness or just for ego is driving a lot of things. You know, that's where you get lost. We get lost in a lot of such things. So that is where Hanuman is giving us. This is what Valmiki Maharshi is saying through Hanuman. That don't confuse between goodness and greatness. In fact, there is one more shloka where he says, here, with this, he is just equivalent to Rama. I can just see the valor of Rama in him. Then he puts this statement, Yadi dharma na balavan syat. If only he had followed dharma, he could have been very different. That is the difference between the goodness and the greatness quality. And that is very, very important for us also to follow. And goodness is a necessary condition. Greatness is an add-on. Good if you have it. Everything else can follow after that. But if you don't have the necessary condition, no matter how great you are doomed. It can go to that doom. Okay. So let us see what happens when he meets Ravana. What happens and where that leads to. Tataste namrude hatva rajaputreణ valinam sugriva sthapito rajye haryushakshanam. Wait a minute. Rukshanam Ganeshwaraha. Correct. 1 minute. There's a problem. Is it one? What is the problem here? Okay. Okay. So, okay, there's a small story which is not, I have not brought it here. The thing is, when Ravana asks him, who are you? Why are you here? So first step that he does is, I think it is well dramatized everywhere. I think that first thing, Ravana is sitting on a very high pedestal. What Hanuman does is he coils all his tail and then sits on top of it to be saying eye to Ravana. That sort of infuriates Ravana in a lot of ways. So that is a mind game. If you call that a mind game, that I can also be on par with you. You are not very high. So that is the first thing. Everyone is very surprised when that scene happens. All the mantri, somebody who is not afraid of Ravana is sitting here. Nobody has ever seen that sort of a state here. So Ravana, that infuriates Ravana quite a bit. So he asks him, who the hell are you? Why have you come here? Are you a monkey who is just here? Monkeys are not entertained. I'll just kill you. Some sort of dialogue he gives. So this is where he says, look, I am Sugriva's Duta, first thing. And then I'm not just Sugriva's Duta. I have come on behalf of Rama for Sita. I'm sure you remember Vali. This is what he's trying to remind him. You remember Vali, the king of monkeys. So there's a story behind that. The story is that, Vali and Ravana would have had a fight at one point of time. They would have had a war. As in, Ravana would have gone and tried to humiliate Vali, take over the kingdom or do something. Vali would have actually defeated him, not just defeated him. He would have taken his face, the way it is described is funny. He would have taken all his 10 face, threw in his arms, and then rubbed it against all the walls of the entire castle of his fort. So that is the kind of humiliation Ravana would have undergone in Vali's hands. And Vali would have single-handedly defeated all of Ravana's army and everything. So that's where if you remember in the last class we had said that Vali told Rama, if you had ever come to me, I would have defeated Ravana up front and brought Sita back without even battling an eyelid. That would have been my left child's play. That was the arrogance with which he said. So there is a reason for which he had said he knew that he could defeat Ravana. Ravana, it was not a big thing. Ravana was already defeated by Vali. So Vali standing in front of Ravana itself would have had enough trouble for Ravana. So that's where he makes that statement, and that's why Hanuman is reminding him. You remember that Vali who defeated you so much? Now he was killed by Rama. So you now imagine what is Rama's state. So that is the kind of fear he is trying to induce into Ravana. That is the first thing. Then he asked, then Ravana asked, do you even know who I am? He first ignores, thinking he does not know the story of background of what has happened to Vali and all. So he says, do you know who I am? So to that, Hanuman replies, Tvaya Vigyata Purvascha Vali Vanara Pungavaha. So he is now emphasizing the fact that Rama killed Vali. Ramena Nihataha Sankhye Shere Naikena Vanaraha. With a single arrow, he was able to kill Vali. The same Vali who took you all around the fort and rubbed your face against it and deformed your face to the extent you could not get up for so many, whatever number of days and everything. That Vali who could deface you and make you bow down to him was killed by Rama. So now you know who I am and where I have come from. And that too with a single arrow. He's emphasizing that fact over again and rubbing it in. So that shows the character of Hanuman as to how much he is able to grasp the situation. And then this becomes he gives a very, very important warning to him. Praptam dharmaphalam tavat bhavata natra samshayah phalamasya dharmasya kshiprameva prapasyase. You are someone who is well in the know of dharma and adharma. So I think time has come for you now to face your actions of all the adharma that you have done. Okay. So then he again says, let me remind you, Janasthanavadam Budva Valivadam Tatha Rama Sugriva Sakhyam Cha Budhyasva Hitamatmanaha. So this is the message that he is delivering to Ravana. Be prepared. It is not, you are not going to face some simple this one. So be prepared. I am warning you. This is the warning that you get. This is what actually infuriates Ravana so much. That leads to, his tail being set on fire. So in fact, this Vibhishana warns him, tells him. In fact, Ravana wants to kill Hanuman. So he tries to put that out. Yes, Parvati Mahodaya.
Who's Janasthana?
Janasthana was so many 14,000 asuras were killed, no?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Surpanakha,
Yeah,
all those
okay,
things
now I
happened.
remember. Yes, okay. Dhanyavadalu.
Yeah. Dandakaranya. That's where this happened. Right? So he warns, and this is the warning that he is giving to Ravana to say that, now please, let's not get into trouble. You have already created enough trouble. Now it's time for you to pay all this one. This gets him very infuriated. He says, I am going to kill Hanuman. Then this Vibhishna steps in. Vibhishna says, again you'll get adharma, you'll get into papa of adharma because that Dutavada is not allowed. No matter what, Dutavada is not allowed. Even if you have come from the enemy side, Dutavada is never to be taken up. So that's why even today you have what is called diplomatic immunity. No matter what they do, you have, if they are in the diplomatic this one, they have that immunity. At best, they can be thrown out of the country. That is what Geneva Protocol also says even today. Okay, so he says, okay, but still I need to punish him. Ravana is not, he is infuriated. This is not a statement that anybody had ever spoken to him like this. Nobody had ever told him any such matter of fact statements on his face. So he got very infuriated. So then he asks, what is the things that we can do? Then somebody says, you can cut off all the hair on the head, that is, take out all the hair and then send him back as though he's doing some Pitrakarya or some such thing. Then you can do so many other things. So then finally Ravana decides, oh, okay, tail is the most favorite thing for a monkey. So I'm going to now set your tail on fire. Now that of course Hanuman makes the best use of that tail and then goes around setting half the Lanka on fire. So he actually very strategically, that is also very well described. He strategically goes to all the houses where there is this, you have what is called this fuel oil stored. He goes there and sets the fuel oil on fire, which as a domino effect, you get it everywhere. And the best part is that after he goes and in the Samudra, he takes care of his tail is extinguished. He then wonders what happened to Sita. Oh, why did I set this on fire? How can I be so foolish? That Sita is also there. She would also have perished now, etc., etc. And this is where he again brings up that Dharma Sukshma. What is that? We have that shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, no? Mohat samjayate kaman kamat krodho vijayate. Bhavati sammohat smriti vibraha smriti branshat buddhinashat vinashyati. So he brings in that, he doesn't state that is not a shloka he states, but he states that framework. What can happen in the state of anger? That's why we should never be angry and act and all those things. Hanuman says that. But yeah, also Sita prays that when she hears that, his tail has been set on fire, she prays to Agni that, he should not feel that, and Hanuman is also very surprised that it is not paining. It's not burning. He does not, there is no sensation of that heat. But he goes, the entire Lanka is burnt and then he comes back. So this is this one. Okay. So any questions from the last class or anything? Okay. Let's move on to the next shloka. So Odigamya Mahatmanam Kratva Ramam Pradakshinam. Now he's returned to Kishkinda. Okay. So Odigamya Mahatmanam Kratva Ramam Pradakshinam. Nyavedayad ameyatma drishta siteti tvattatvatah. Saha अधिगम्य महात्मानं रामं अधिगम्य महात्मानं कृत्वा रामं प्रदक्षिणं न्यवेदयत् अमेयात्मा दृष्टा सीता इति तत्त्वतः. So tattvatah here refers to sakshatkara. Sakshatkara is not in the Vedantic sense of sakshatkara. I saw her. I have seen her. This is what he says. Ameyatma Anjaneya Swami Mahatmanam Ramam Adigamya Pradakshinam Kratva Sita Tattvataha Drishta iti nyavedayat. He said, I saw Sita. This is what he said. Okay. So yeah, Ameyatma, that is Nakaranta, Ameyatman, Mahatman. So Nakaranta, this should be Nakaranta. Sorry. This should be Mahatman. Nakaranta. Nakaranta. Okay. Ramam Adigamya, Adi plus Gam Dhatu, Lyavanta, Pradakshina. Okay. Krutva,
Ramam
Kruta,
is
this is all straight.
karma.
Huh?
No, sorry.
Which one?
Got it. I read Ramam as karta. It's karma, correct. Yeah.
It's karma. Yeah. Drishta. Drishta is what usage? Kartariva, karmaniva?
Karmani, drishta. Drish dhatu is karma.
Mayi Sita Drishta. That Mayi is not there here. Mayi Sita Drishta. That's what it means. Sita was seen by me. Okay. With Kartari Nyavedayat. Akathayat. This is what he said. Apare meya buddhihi Hanuman Mahantam Raghavam Samukam Kritva Parikramam Kritva Maithili Vastutaha Vikshita. Iti Akathayat. I saw in form and shape. I saw Sita in form and shape, not in my dream. So something like that is just saying. This is what is this one. So let's move on. What happens after that? Okay, there is nothing much. There's one Vriddhi Sandhi here. There's a Yad Sandhi, yes. Yavedayat, one Vriddhi Sandhi. Mahatmanam Mahatatma Yatsya Saha Tam. Okay. Ameyaha Atma Yasya Saha Ameyatma. Okay. Okay. Tata Sugri. Okay, actually before this, before even coming to Rama, there are 2-3 beautiful things that happen in the Hanuman actually suggests to Jambavan and Angada that let's not go. He has now assessed the situation of what Ravana is, how things are, etc., etc. He just says, he comes back and they had left from that Sampati. They were all sitting and waiting for Hanuman at that place where they met Sampati. So he comes back to that place, meet Jambavan, Angada, and all. And this is what he says. Yes, I saw Sita. Ravana is not something very big. Don't worry, I have just crossed the ocean twice over. So it's not a big thing for me. All that you need to do is sit on my back. We'll cross over to that place. Finish off Ravana and everyone else. Bring Sita back. Why go back to Rama with just this much? We can give him a better news. This is what Hanuman suggests to them. So then to this, of course, at the end of it, better sense prevails. Jambavan says, it is not wise on our part to take decisions. We are at the our job. There's a scope. No, we all get into this scope business of in all the corporates. We have a scope of work. So this will be deviation from scope of work. That is what Jambavan says. And he says it is not wise to take this decision without consulting with Sugriva and Rama. So let us go back. So that's when they turn back and come. Otherwise, Hanuman's suggestion would have been just go there, finish off the entire business. Now come back, give the good news that, okay, we have brought back Sita. You don't even need to worry about it. This is the kind of this one that Hanuman suggests. Jambavan says no. Then, of course, they get into a party mode. There is who is that? There is a Kadali Vana, some beautiful Kadali Vana, which is managed by Sugriva's maternal uncle or someone. They all go party out there. It's a huge party scene. There are 4 or 5 party scenes in the entire Ramayana. By the way, Bharadwaja Muni gives a huge party to Bharata's entourage when they come there. It's almost 4 or 5 sargas. I don't think you'll get any party that is of that nature. Even the so-called parties that happen today will not match those standards. So it is a very different state. Bharata asks why party for these people have come in Shoka and all. He says, You have come in Shoka, you don't celebrate, but they are not, your entourage, your bowmen, your archery, your all those people are not here to for doing that. Let them enjoy. I'll throw that this one. So there are beautiful, there are 3 or 4 parties like that described. Very, very, very elaborately described parties. In fact, I should say that. So yeah, so that is what happens. One is by Vasishta to Kaushika Maharshi. This is in, I think, Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is taken away. Yeah, this is in how Kaushika becomes the journey of Kaushika to Vishwamitra. So there is one beautiful party of Vasishta to Kaushika, and how because of that, how Kaushika thinks that Kamadhenu should be his Nandini. It's not Kamadhenu, it's Nandini. Nandini should be his, and there is so many. That is a beautiful story. So you have a lot of such interesting ways of celebrating life coming out fully in Ramayana. So these people also, these monkeys also go into all sorts of partying, what to the extent that the Mali goes to Sugriva, complains that this is what has happened. So he thinks that they should, otherwise he loses job. So there he says, no, it is not because of this. Sugriva is also happy because they must have had some good news. So that's why they are doing it. So don't worry, come back, let them send them back. So this is what happens there. So, ततः सुग्रीवसहितः गत्वा तीरं महोदधेः समुद्रं क्षोभयामास शरैरादित्यसन्निभैः ततः सुग्रीवसहितः गत्वा तीरं महोदधेः समुद्रं क्षोभयामास शरैः आदित्यसन्निभैः ओके ततः रामः सुग्रीवसहितः महोदधेः तीरं गत्वा आदित्यसन्निभैः शरैः समुद्रं क्षोभयामास. Can anybody explain what's happening here? Anybody?
He fired arrows at the samudra and gave him a lot of kshobha.
Why? Anybody knows that story? Why?
Because he asked for the way to the sea to recede and provide them passage to Lanka.
Correct. So he goes to the sea. Sagara, after all, it is his own ancestors. No, Sagarasya Putra, they are the ones who created the sea to begin with. That's a huge story that comes in Ganga Avatarana. So he says that, I need passage now. So please split, please move. I need to pass through. So that's what he orders. In fact, he orders the ocean. In fact, first he prays, then he orders. But the sea does not respond. So Sagara does not do that. He says he does not do anything. So three days later, he tries to pierce that and do this one. That's when Sagara comes out and says, "I'm sorry. I know you are my of my own. I'm very grateful to your Kula and you have done so much, but I'm sorry, I can't do this. It is against the laws of physics in simple sense. That's how he puts it. And also he puts out that, even if I try to do that, even if I can give you that way, there are a lot of jantu that are living within this ocean, which will die if you try to do this. So please don't do this. That is what he begs of Rama, and Rama obliges. So yeah, there are so many of those Jantavaha who are living there. So that I have a responsibility towards them. I cannot make way just because I am commanded to do so. There are things that are beyond this. So that is something that comes out very clearly. So after that is where Nala and Neela come in. Okay, let's finish this. Mahodadehe. Yeah, this what is the Vibhakti Vachana? Nagaprabha Mahodaya. Mahodadehe.
Mahodadehe. किं वचनीयं विभक्ति षष्ठी विभक्ति
Shashti Vibhakti. Ikaranta Sambandhapada Mahodadehe.
महोददेः अर्थं किं?
Samudraha.
समुद्र
Maha udadehe. Mahat udadehe Mahodadehe. Okay, so this is what happens. Okay. Tataha Sugrivena saha Samudrasya Tiram Gatva Surya Sadrishaihi Banaihi, as piercing as the sun, Sagaram Shobhaya Masa Akulam Makrot. He was angry. In fact, Rama was angry at the Samudra for not giving him way to move. So that's why he did something. Samudra then comes up and says, sorry, I can't help you. So, but you can build this one over me. I'll ensure that nothing happens because of that. So that's what he says. There are some Visarga Sandhi. There are only Visarga Sandhi here. Okay. Sugrivena Sahita Mahan Asau Udadihi Tasya. One who is Mahan, and Udadi is something that is with water. Okay. Tasya Mahodadehe Adityena Sannibaha Taihi. Okay. Darshayamasa Chatmanam Samudras Saritam Patihi Samudravachanachaiva Nalam Setu Makarayat. So Nala builds the Setu. That Nala Nila, I think we know that story. They ride the Rama, they floated it, the floating stone, and then they built the whole structure. So there are enough stories around that. So that's what happens here. So Saritam Patihi. What is Sarit?
River.
River. Saritam Patihi Samudraha. Why is it Saritam Patihi?
Because all of them
Go to
Meet the ocean.
All of them go to the river. Okay. Very good.
the
Now,
ocean. All the
okay,
rivers.
I like that. Yes, you're all right. Saritam. Then what is Saritam's Vachana and Vibhakti?
Saritam is Shashti, sixth Bahuvachan
Kimartam.
belongs to, it actually is, all the rivers belong to the ocean.
Okay. Saritam. The river's husband. That's
of
the
all the rivers, husband of all the rivers.
fair enough. But what is the Anta? What Pratipadikam Kim?
Sarita.
Sarit.
Sarita.
No.
So can you tell this one of all the Vibhakti Vachanas of Sarit?
It's,
Takaranta, we don't know.
it's something like Lataa.
No, it is
No,
Takaranta.
how many Lataa Akaranta kila?
Yeah, this is Takaranta.
Takaranta, okay.
Nagaprabha Punyavadato.
महोदय सरित् शब्दः अस्ति वा?
Sarit Shabdasya Sarvavachana
द्वितीया विभक्ति
Prathama Vibhakti Kim?
Saritam.
सरितां
No. Can you tell all the Vibhakti Vachanas of Sarit Shabd?
Yeah.
सरिन्
Okay. Homework. Everyone do this and fill this up. Takaranta filling the pada. Okay. Sarve karotu. Sarve janaha kurvantu. Mastu va? Okay. Shashti Vibhakti is right. Sarit Shabdasya Srilinga Sambandha Bahuvachana. Patihi Swami Sagaraha Sriramam Drishtavan. Utadehe Katanat. After he said, so basically he tells him, sorry, I can't do this. And says, please build a bridge and go pass through me. But I cannot I am definitely not going to split because you want me to split. That is not happening. So that is against all possible laws of physics, and it's also a problem with taking away so many lives. So there are both the reasons are given very clearly established, and he says do this. Nalena bandhanam nirmitam. Yeah, there was a setu built by Nala. Okay. Nadinam Swami Sagarah Sri Ramam Drishtavan Udarehe Kathanat. Okay. Then there is only Shitva Sandhi here and Driti Sandhi. Samudra Vachanat Tasmat. Samudra Vachanat. Vachanat. Okay. Okay. Tena Gatva Purim Lankam Hatva Ravanamahave Rama Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamat. Tena Gatva Purim Lankam Hatva Ravanam Ahave. Ramaha Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamat. He came back. Okay. Ramaha Tena Lankam Purim Gatva Ravanam Ahave Hatva Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamat. So anybody who wants to go with, who wants to learn Twanta and Twanta Prayoga, this is a good shloka. Purim Gatva Ahave Hatva Sita Manuprapya Param Vridam Upagamat. What is Vridam?
Fight?
Huh?
Fighting?
No. Vridam is not fight. Vridam. Anybody?
Or come on, park.
Nisha Madhya, Vridam Arthat Kim?
It is given in the book, Sense of Shame, Lajja.
Okay. A sense of shame is definitely not right, but yeah, we'll come to that. Okay. Yeah. Nisha Madhya? Any idea?
But who is the one who is in Lajja here? He has already won. Rama has won and brought Sita back. Means who is going to have the shame? Ravana?
No. No. This is everything is about Rama. Ramaha Vridam Upagamat. So Nisha Modi, any idea what is Vridam? I know the book says shame, and that's exactly what I want to clarify.
Basically, I think he wants to show the people that she's pure. Sita is so that episode is it referring to that?
Something related to that. Let me add that here. So no, it is not about just about that. So it is not a sense of shame. It's a sense of lajja. Lajja is the right word. Now lajja is not shame. How many of you agree lajja is not shame? Shame is a very negatively connotated word.
This is Sankoch. Is it?
Sankoch. Sankoch
Or
is the right word. In Hindi, it is Sankoch. Yes. So Nisha Madhya is absolutely right. This is for the fact that, he is getting Sita. First, he lost her. Now, in front of the entire world, he has to take and ensure that it is not in the adharmic form. So there is a lot of Sankoch, Lajja, that is Vridam. So how will the world react to me taking her back right now? These are please remember, these are times when you did not have the concept of to hell with my own parents, I am going to do what I want to do. That is not how people lived. In those times, people lived with the whole world's problem is my problem is the whole world's problem. They've lived with that sense, and then there was a whole sense of how is the world going to react to something like this. So there was a sankoch. So that is hesitant. The right word for this would be hesitance. So Fran Mohdya, if you are not aware of that, it would be the nearest equivalent word that I can use is hesitant. But that is also not a right equivalent. he was hesitant he was overcome with some level of hesitancy to accept Sita back. Just because he was wondering how would the world react to that sort of openly accepting, okay, everything is back to normal now. So this was something that he had in mind. Okay. So any questions on this? Okay. Rama tena Lankam Purim gatva Ravanam Mahave hatva Sita Manuprabhya. So there is a Lebantam and two Twanta and two Lemanta. Okay. Param Mahatim Vridam Mahatim Lajjam Anvabhavat. He was overcome with that sense of how am I going to face. It happens to us a lot of times when you are in the thick of things, you don't get to think about the world around you. But suddenly you come to your senses that the world is all looking at you and pouncing at you for whatever you have done. It could be something positive, it could be something negative. You are in the thick of action and then suddenly you become aware of the world around you. So especially it happens to children who are in their own world and playing, and suddenly they see that somebody is watching them. So the kind of reaction that comes out of it. So this is some sort of that reaction, plus the fact that, how is this world going to react if I just take Sita back? That's one question that he has on his mind.
But if you have done something dharma, then you should feel lajja.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a thing like you have done everything right. Now there is a level of hesitancy not because of what you have done, but induced because of how others are thinking about what has happened. So I'll give a simple example, right? Because, okay, let us say you have been doing everything right. You are hitting somebody on the street. Okay. Now, people would see only you hitting. They may not know the context, they may not know the background, they may not know why you are hitting. You may even win. You may even become all right. And this is happening quite a bit in today's social media world, in fact. Okay. Without knowing the proper context, then people will come to advice. Randomly, people will start advising without even asking you what happened, why it happened, what is going on, etc. Then you become suddenly aware, what have I done? Right? You might have gone to hit someone just because he was hitting somebody else or you are doing something else. Now, you need that clarity where the full picture needs to be portrayed. So that full picture, portraying that full picture becomes very difficult at some points, right, to people. So how do you ensure that in a public situation, in a very, very open situation? It happens in a lot of times when somebody, for all you know, somebody is crying very loudly. Maybe the mistake is that, especially it happens with three kids fighting. One kid suddenly starts crying so loudly that, everyone rushes and starts helping and then consoling, doing everything to that kid. In most cases, I wouldn't say in most cases, okay. In a number of cases, it so happens that is the kid which is initiated and who is actually in the wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Happens. All of us have faced this. And you're consoled so much now, you can't even go back on your word and start saying, no, this was wrong, that was wrong. There is no time because the damage done is done. And a lot of kids carry that grudge over a period of time also. Because the other kids are now, okay, this kid is something else. So now there is a lot of difference. We have faced all these situations. Right. So there becomes a challenge there. So how do you handle the situation like that? Okay, Rama is also something similar. So, okay, what has happened to Sita? Now, the people are questioning, okay, she probably for all you know, she went along with him. She wanted to go with him.
Rama should be feeling a sense of shame for having let down Sita, for having, allowed her to be taken away and whatever.
No, Mahodaya, this is not that shame.
Not being able to protect her.
No, this is not that shame. This is not that shame. that shame is different. That is a very different kind of thing. That as in contextually, it is very clearly, even if you read the full of Yuddha Kanda and come to the end, there also this is elaborated very deeply. That first reading, even I thought this is how I thought reading that word shame, I also thought this is how it should be. But then when I went back and saw it, this is not that shame. So Nilima Madhya, thank you for clarifying. Actually, the first thing that we all can sort of, the first thing that comes to our mind is probably for letting her down, he is feeling a sense of shame. That is not the case. That is not how Valmiki has represented this at all. It is not that shame. If it was that shame, it would have been very different. Let me be very clear about this. Throughout, from the time she gets kidnapped in Aranyakanda till the end, nowhere Rama has a lot of this one. He does a lot of vilapa. There's a lot of places where he cries. He goes in front of trees and starts asking, where is Sita? What has happened? He goes on and on and on. But two things never happen to Rama. One, he never gets into a state of self-pity. Oh, why is this happening to me? What have I done wrong? What is this? Why is this? Why is the universe it is conspiring against me? He doesn't get into this conspiracy theory problems. Okay, first thing. Second thing, he does not get into a state of, he does not blame himself for whatever has happened. Nor does he blame Lakshmana. Nowhere throughout the Ramayana will you ever see him saying, what has happened is because of our mistakes. It is not.
Yeah.
Clearly, first of all, even if you see that full thing, it was because Sita wanted that
Consultation.
golden deer.
All these medicines.
Okay, he wanted that golden deer, so Rama went for it. We saw the kind of harsh word she used for Lakshmana, because of which he had to go. Right? So nowhere in Ramayana is it portrayed as Rama and Lakshmana's fault because of which Sita was in that position. This is very contrasting to Mahabharata, where Draupadi was in that position because of her husbands. Okay? So that is very, very different. Contextually, it is very different. So where the shame should be felt in all the Pandavas, this one case and all, there is a need. There, if you see, yes, there is a set of shame and there is a set of this one which comes. But not in Ramayana. Nowhere is it, there is no shame expressed anywhere. So that is to be very clearly noted. That's why I said the word shame is not the right word to be used in this context at all. So please note that sankoch, hesitant. What is the world going to think? That is the kind of thing that is coming around. Okay. Is that clear? Any thoughts? Any questions?
Okay. Can we also say that as a king or as a prince, the praja will have some expectations from him.
Yes.
So he is now thinking that, have I met their expectations, or is everybody happy, or
yes. So that's what I said. It is basically about how is the world reacting to my state. So you suddenly become aware of your state, that your true position in your society or as a king or whatever. How is it that standard is my behavior accepted to that standard? That am I behaving to the standard that I'm expected to behave? That is the question. Yes, Parvati Mohadaya.
But right now he is not king. He is in the forest. So he has no he is now in the forest. He's banished. He's not the king. So he's not responsible for what his subjects think of him. He's not a king anymore.
No. There's a difference. See, this is something that whether you're a king or not, you're a Kshatriya to begin with. As he himself made, see, he himself said that, said it for himself, no? He said, I am a Kshatriya, I need to do certain things. So there is something that's expected out of me. Now, there's also something called Atma Sakshi.
Yeah. But why should he care what his subjects think when they're not his subjects anymore?
They are his subjects, no? That's what
Not yet. For at this point of time, they are not his subjects. He's banished.
See, no, whatever it is, at the end of it, his brother is Bharata's brother. So this should also not reflect on Bharata's character, no? So if you look at that Vali Vada shloka, he says Bharata Palita. There's a country which is ruled by Bharata, and by Bharata's agya I am going to kill you. I killed you because of that, because I am bound by Bharata's order. Right. So now he is very clear about that. Now this is Ikshvaku Kula is something that is very clear about their, if you want to call it today, brand image. If you want to use a corporate term today. So the brand image becomes very important. Now, whether it's an employee doing the wrong thing or whether it is the director of the company or the CXO or CEO doing some mischief, right? So Rama is bound to be seen by that lens, whether you like it or not. So now if we say, if tomorrow the world takes a view that, Rama's actions were wrong, it will reflect on even Bharata. So what is the kind of punishment that needs to be meted out to Rama?
So does it mean all of us have to care about what the world thinks about us and our actions? If we follow Rama as the exemplary person?
I wouldn't say that. See, it is, no. What is saying is, as you hold a position, it's not societal position. If he was not a king, if he was a normal stray random person roaming on the streets, it would have been a very different story, right? You don't need to care about the world. Why would you care? But for the position that he is born in and the kind of position that he is holding, it's very important. Why do you think they spend so much of money in, making over that Queen of England for whatever reasons? There's a position that there's a position that people hold, and that has to be respected. And each of them have to carry themselves to that point. As a responsible, we work in corporates. We care about what we do, right? There, right? It's a matter of career. It's a matter of how we behave. Yeah, that position. The position has some value. It is not the individual. As an individual, you may care, you may not care. Nobody is even bothered. But and even as a family man, you or a woman, you need to carry up yourself because that reflects on the family. So these things come about. So that is the kind of thing that Rama is wondering here. So please be careful. The word shame is very wrongly used there, and please don't get into that. This one that he is ashamed of himself or no such thing. In fact, even the Pandavas were not ashamed of themselves. If at all there was anyone, they had to be ashamed of themselves for whatever. But even there, you don't see that. So yeah, so this is a very clear thing that it is not the case. Okay.
So when we have to do that, you have to write that Rama was hesitant in accepting her.
Something, yes, you can use that. Not hesitant. He was worried about or rather, he was thoughtful.
Worried about public opinion.
He was thoughtful of the consequences of accepting her.
Okay.
What I would just like to add on this topic. Professor Mahadevan has very beautifully explained in that lecture. I would recommend everybody to listen to that because it's really an eye opener. Maybe
can you post it on the group? Can you post that?
I will put that video out and I will send it.
Yeah. Yeah. So most of it, what I have said is out of his lectures only. He's my guru, so I have taken a lot of it from him. But it's good that you listen to him. He has made it a little more, he's clarified it much better than what I have. So it'll be good. Yes, Nisha Moria, please post it on the group if you can.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Okay. So good. So let's move on. Okay. Tamuvacha tato Ramaha Parusham Janasamsadi Amrishyamana sa Sita Vivesha Jvalanam Sati. So this is that Agni Pravesha, that the famous or infamous Agni Pravesha, as you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Tam Uvacha Tataha Ramaha Parusham Janasansadi. What is Parusham?
Rude.
What is
Parusha
Parusham?
Vakyam is being rude
Rude. Okay.
or
Harsh.
not very polite, harsh.
Harsh. Parusham. Okay. Parusham. Parusham is harsh. In Janasansati, in front of so many people, Rama said very harsh words. Amrishyamana sa Sita, having heard that, she was very angry. In fact, Sita becomes very angry for after hearing that. But she just still goes into that Agni Pravesha. She does that Agni Mukha Pravesha. And yeah, Tata Ramaha Janasansati Tam Sitam Parusham Vacha. Amrishyamana sa Sita Sa Sati Sita Jwalanam Vivesha. Okay, there is nothing here. Ramaha Jananam Samave Sita Apriyam Avadat. Okay, so please, another word, sati. Please don't take sati at the face value of the way the British have put it out. You know, sati is not burning on the fire. Of course, there was a sati who did that for her husband. That was a different story. There's a story part to it. But that is a story for a very different reason also. That is not because he died and she went in or some such thing. There is a Savitri, there is this one. She did because there is Daksha Prajapati's daughter who actually went into the fire because her father did not respect her husband. Okay, so there are all sorts of it. So please don't blindly take what has been fed all over. Sadhvi is a better word for sati. So sadhvi is a synonym. So please note that Janaki Agnim Pravishat. She went in. Okay. Then Tadanantaram Raghava Priyamavadat Asahamana Sa Sadhvi. One who was not very happy with that, but still she went in. Agnim Pravishat. Okay. Jananam Samsat Tasyam. Okay. Na Drishyamana. Something she was not happy with it. Some not agreeable to her is Amrishyamana. Karmanaatena mahata trailokyam sacharacharam sadevarshi ganam tushtam ragavasya mahatmanah tato agnivachanat sitam gyatva vigatakalmasham babau samprahrishta पूजितः सर्वदैवतैः कर्मणा तेन महता त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरम् सदेवर्षि गणं तुष्टं राघवस्य महात्मनः तत अग्निवचनात् सीतां ज्ञात्वा विगतकल्मषां बभौ रामः संप्रहृष्टः पूजितः सर्वदेवतैः. So he was respected. Agni, in fact, when she goes in, Agni himself lifts her, brings her back and says, "This is not something that even I can't do this to Sita and all." And there's some story that goes on. So then, of course, the devatas are all happy. So this is this one. See, tataha Ramaha Agnivachana Sitam Vigata Kalmasham Gyatva Mahatmanaha Ragavasya Tena Mahata Karmana Sacharacharam Sadevarshi Ganam Trailokyam Tushtam Sarvade Daivataihi Pujitah Rama Samprahrishtaha Babau. They all became very happy. Okay. So that's all. There is nothing much here. Vigata Kalmasham Akarata Srilinga. Very straightforward thing. Shtreshtena Karyena Sthavara Jangamam Sacharacharam Chara Achara. Chara plus Achara is Characharam. One with one which move and one those that don't move. Okay. Devaganaihi saha Trayo lokaha prasannam sarvaihi suraihi architaha raghava prasannam abhavat. Everybody became happy. Okay. Okay. That is all I have for today. We will stop here. Next class will not be there. I'll be traveling. So what I am going to do is, okay. Any thoughts, any questions, anything?
You're going too fast for me.
Huh?
You're
This
going
is too
too
fast.
fast for me. Yeah.
Okay, please do one thing. Go through the PDF.
Yeah, I should.
I'll
Yeah.
see the PDF. Okay. And then come back to me with questions. More than happy to answer all of them.
No, if I go through the PDF, I'll understand, but I prefer hearing it and then storing it.
And then forgetting it at the end of it.
The videos of the last 2 classes have not been uploaded.
No, they are there. Very much there.
Okay.
All of them have been uploaded. Let me check if they are private. They're all, I think they're all there. None of the videos are missing. Yeah, they're all there. Yes, yes. Yeah, they're all there. No, no, this one. Nothing is
I'll
pending.
look again. I didn't find them last time.
Okay. No, in the email, if you open the email, there will be a link. I sent the video link to in that email. You can open that and take a look. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else? Okay. Astu. Samapayamah adya. Om स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः आधनात् सतनात् सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं शृण्वन् रामायणं भक्त्या स याति परमे पदमेव वा स याति ब्रह्मणस्थानं ब्रह्मणा पूज्यते सदा हरिः ओम् धन्यवादाः
धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः.